Okay guys, now we'll study modules, like what are modules, how are we can use it, importing, exporting. So basically modules we can say like a JavaScript code which are into different files and how to access that, because in one JavaScript file you can't write like 10,000 of codes. Obviously you can, but it will be like very much hectic for you when you write 10,000 lines of code in one file. So that's why we separate into different files. And like suppose there are some secret values also, you can say, I mean there are some passwords, so you are writing on the same page and the password get changed by you by like some like unintentionally it got changed, and now you'll be like what is happening, why it's not doing the work which has to be done. So we can just put the password in a different file and access it. So that's why we use modules. So we can say modules share code between, I'll say, multiple files. So we can have multiple files and we'll run only one file for access that code. So let me just show you a quick tutorial. So I'll say constant name, I'll say Zen, then here I'll say constant age, I'll say 24, and okay, there is a spelling mistake. Yeah, you can see constant name Zen, constant age 24. Now if I console.log, I'll say name comma age. Okay, normal. I'll open the terminal. I can directly write node app. So you can do like node app.js or without js, it will work the same. So I'll just say node app. Okay, whatever the file name, .js is not required. So I'll say okay Zan24 because I have printed it. Now I have another name 2. I'll say like, what do you want to say, like Vinay, and here also I'll say const age equals to 20, and here I'll say age 2. Now I'll say console.log name 2 comma age 2. If I now go to console, you can see Vinay 20 printing and Zan 24. Everything is fine. But you can see we like the same person properties I'm having in the same page, so it may have a problem, something like that. So what I'll do, I'll just like directly switch them to a different file. So I'll just control X, and you can see in the same folder I have with the file name like what you can say app2.js, will have same thing app2. Now here you can just write the same code. Okay, I return same code, nothing else. Now I want this code to execute when I execute this app.js. Okay, so what I'll say name node app. So it's not getting executed because you are right, it's on a different file. We have to tell like what to say, Nodejs go to different file and execute that code, and this is what is called module. So we have our own main like piece of code is here, but we have put into another file. This is called module. Now how to access this? So for that we'll say require. So require is that we want to access this module, so I'll say require, and I say like this. Now I have to tell where, so I'll give the path. So I'll say dot slash. So dot slash means in this specific folder only, not beyond that, in this specific folder. Okay, so I'm saying dot slash, I mean in the same folder there is a file called app2.js. just acquire that file. Now let me just go and do node app. You can see now Vinay 20 also got printed. How? Firstly Zan 24 printed. After that I'll say okay, just go and acquire this file. So when you acquire any file, so it will just run all the stuff inside that. So it came here, ran it, it came here, ran it, it came here, then consoled it. So that's why whatever you do, always use modules with the help of functions, because other whatever you are doing, it will just get executed. So, and in functions nothing gets executed until and unless you call the function by yourself. Now here also, if I make a function also, const hello, console.log name2 comma h2. Now if I run it, now I have wrapped this up in a function. Now if I run it, now it's not running. Why? Because this thing is wrapped up in a function and I am not calling the function. But if I call the function, see, okay, it's name2, not name. You can see now both the stuff is being printed here also, name, age, and here also like Vinay 20, because now we are calling the function. So always when you are playing with the modules, use functions. Otherwise, if you want to initialize some value, then okay, you can just initialize in the top. Apart from that, any function that is going to run, just always use the functions. Now we'll see, like we got, suppose, let me just remove this. We got name2h2 defined here. Okay, now in app.js, what I'll say, I'll call a function. Let me just remove this. I'll say constant print, and I'll say console.log name comma age, or you can say names, ages names. Okay, I know it's a wrong pronunciation word, so but yeah, for the time. And here we'll accept names and ages. Okay, names and ages. I am accepting names and ages. So now if I where's the terminal gone? Yeah, so now if I run this, nothing happening because we are not calling. If I call the print, I'll just pass above name and age. Okay, got printed. Now if I say print, I'll pass name2 comma h2, which was defined here in this part. Save it. If I now run it, you can see it's showing error reference name, like, okay, let me write name2. You can see not defined, like where is name2 h2. Okay, so it was also h2. Yeah, so suppose here I'll say okay, require. Now here I'll say give the file name. Okay, so before that I'm acquiring the file name, then getting the name to h2. Now if I run, then also error, because you just said okay, go to that file and run whatever it is. So it just done whatever stuff there was, and now you are accessing it, so it's not like doable. So if I suppose directly to console.log, and let me just end this part, sending this. Yeah, you can see we are just getting empty. Why empty? It's like empty objects, because we are not exporting anything. We are just saying okay, require, just go here and whatever here it is, just do that stuff. So it just suppose opening a different console and doing the stuff, and that closing that console. Here we have to like export that stuff. Okay, I'll say okay, export it, then I'll take it here, like that, the way I can take it here. So I want to export this name2 and h2. So how do we export it? So we'll say modules dot export. So we'll say modules dot export, sorry, not modules, it's module, I just wrote module dot export. What? I'll say name2, just export name2. Okay, so here you can clearly see I'm exporting name2, and here I'm just printing the required part. Now if I print it, you can see still nothing came, but here we are like you can see it's empty, but here we are exporting name2, and name2 is Vinay, because it's called exports, not export, so it's not showing error also. You can see it's completely fine, so that's why always use like this exports. Now you can see now it's changed to blue color. Okay, and this module won't have any S, export will have a S. If I save, you can see now we are getting the value Vinay. You can clearly see we are getting the value Vinay, because we have said here we are just printing this require, and it's coming here, I'm telling just return this part, so it's returning. It's like a function. You can think we return what we want, so we are just returning Vinay, and Vinay is the name. And here suppose I say module dot exports again, and here I'll say h2. Now we are exporting h2. Now you can see it's error module. Okay, module, yeah. So that's error you can get a lot, like I write a lot, sometimes modules, then sometimes export. So you can see we are getting only 20. No, we are not getting name2. You can clearly see it. So we can, we can export like one at a time. There are other ways also, we'll see that also. So let me just remove this name2, and now we'll acquire this name here. Instead of printing, we'll say constant, and we'll say name2, and we are requiring from app.js. Now here we'll print the name2. We'll say console.log. We got the Vinay in name2. If I just save it and print it, you can see Zan24, which we passed to the function, and age is and name2 was Vinay. Like suppose I want to send both of them from here only. So what we can just wrap this up in an object, and we can send h2 also, because we are sending object also. Now if I save it, if I print it now here, you can see we got both name and age in the variable name. So here I'll say instead of name2, I'll say data, because we are getting now both data. Save it. Now you can see we are getting name2 Vinay, age to 20. Now we are, how we are doing, we're just exporting both the stuff in a object. Now this thing I'll pass to print after acquiring. Let me just, now here I'll just pass it to print. How we'll do it? We'll say data dot name2, and here we'll say data dot h2. You can see now Zan24 Vinay 20. So we getting passing the both of stuff. Now here coming here and printing it. But suppose, I mean, I'm writing this long thing data dot name2. I just want separate variables for name2 and h2. Then you will be like, okay, just do this stuff like constant name2 equals to data dot name2, and here you'll say constant h2 data dot h2. I think you are completely right. I can do like this, but there is another way which is a shorter way. Now if I say, see, both are still working, no problem, but I want a shorter way. Still this way is much bigger, I'll say. Okay, let me, yeah. So you want a shorter way, so I'll just remove these two lines. Now we'll directly capture it in a object like this, and we'll say name2 comma h2. Now this name to h2 we are directly passing it here. Now if I save it, you can see we are directly printing it. Now in this object we are just directly acquiring whatever object we are telling here, like name to h2 directly here, and required. Now we don't have to get data dot. Now both are separate values. If I console it, console.log name2 comma h2, you can see Vinay 20 printed, then we are passing it here, then again printing in the function. So these two are totally separate part, so we are not indulging in this. Okay, so now save. But suppose you want to what to say, now I want to give this a name whatever I'm exporting, like I want a name. So what I'll say, I'll just comment this part out. I'll say modules, not modules, it's always module dot exports, and here we'll give the name like dot data, and here we'll just pass the name to comma h2, it's name to, yeah. Now we are exporting this name to h2 with the name data. If I save it, we got saved here. Now let me just remove this part, both the part, yeah. So currently it's just printing Jan24 because we are sending here. Okay, now how to get it? Now we'll say const data. So this name is not because I have sent here data, you can name it anything. So I'll say like mod, like module, and now we'll just print the module, constant console.log mod, save it. So you can see now we got a name here, data. Inside that I am pushing it here. It's same like you make a object firstly and you'll say data, then you give just name to, then comma, like that. So you can just directly give it a name, because you can have bunch of options. Suppose you are having name to h2, then suppose in other part you are having something else. I mean, you can just give a name, and now everything is accessible. Firstly you have to say dot data, then you have to do it here. So now if I say dot data, if I now write in, you can see now it's totally accessible. Now here I'll just directly say mod mod dot data dot name to, and I'll say mod dot data dot h2, and here I'll just remove this stuff, like okay, save it. Now we are getting the same result, Jan24 winner 20, because we are directly giving it a name. Okay guys, and suppose you're having this file app2 like what I'll say inside a folder which is backward. So let me just go here and into local disk E, we are using which Nodejs tutorial. So we'll just cut this file and paste it outside, so it's one step outside my current app.js folder. Now if I go, okay, it's later showing, yeah. So if I now do stuff, so it's saying we can't file in cannot find module app2. So how do we tell, okay, we are two step back? So we just add two dots. Now we are telling just go to, like first is dot means in the same directly. Now we are saying okay, just go one step more back in the parent directly, and now we'll say save. Now if I say hit run, so now it's working fine. And suppose this same thing happening, I am putting inside a here in the folder, I'll say apps, save it. Now if I run it, obviously it will say there is no file, but here I can see it's in APS. So instead of two dots, I'll say in the current directory there is a file, firstly there is a folder called APS. Inside that I'll have a app, save it. Now if I run, inside current we have a APS, and actually it's app2, sorry guys, it's called app2, you can see. Now if I save it, now it's running totally fine, there is no any problem. And now we'll build a function and use that way. So suppose in app2 I'll open this file, I have two functions. So supposingly, let me just remove this. Firstly there is a function called like call. So I want to call somebody, so here I can say console.log I'm calling in US. Okay, now I'll say, then we have another function called message, and I'll say console.log, I'll say sending message, or here I'll say calling. Okay, yeah. So basically we just want directly to call someone or message someone. Just here we are, main function is, let me remove all of the stuff, and we just directly want to call someone like that stuff. So here we'll just say module dot exports equals to, I'll just save both the function. Now here I'll say, okay, let me just write it here. I'll export firstly module dot exports dot call. I want to set call. Okay, so I'll just say call. So now it will directly, I'll just call the call and it will just call it. And here I'll say module dot exports dot message. So this name can be anything. I'm just writing with the function name because that's the standard and you won't get confused. And now I'll say message. Save both the stuff. Now here I'll come, suppose I'm doing blah blah blah, a lot of stuff. Suppose I'm doing a lot of stuff, just think of, okay. Or maybe I can just acquire in the first step only. So I'll say constant. Now here I want this call, okay. So I'll say constant call and equals to, here I'll say require dot slash aps slash app2. Okay guys, save it. Now if I run, nothing is happening. Now if I just say call, nothing is happening because it has a name. So I have to say call dot call. So I'll say call dot call. So it's a calling. Now I want to message someone, so I'll say constant message equals to require dot slash aps dot slash app2, and I'll say message dot message. Okay, so I mean, why it's showing error? Like everything is right. I'm exporting here, then acquiring. So why? So like I have told you in the starting only, like we are just doing two times. Like if firstly it's exporting here, that's it. Now it's not going to work here. So for that we'll build a function like this, and we'll say module dot exports dot data equals to, now I'll just say call comma message. Save it. Now here I'll just can say call, I can just directly get the data. Now I can just remove this. Now if I want to call, I'll say data dot call. If I want another function, I'll say data dot message. Now if I save it, now it will okay, now what happened? Data dot call message module dot exports dot data call message. Why it's not printing? I mean, it should work. I think I'm missing some points or what. We can see data dot call is there. Okay, yeah, we have to wrap this. Okay, yeah, we have like wrap this up with the function name, so we'll just remove this function name. Now if we just say get into data, now call in message, you can see calling sending message. So let me remove this also. So now whatever function you need, you can just export. And suppose there is a third function, sorry, const fun maybe, console.log hello. So you just don't want to export this function, you will just say const, if I say data.message, now it will say can't access, obviously, because we are not exporting that. So you can just save whatever you just want to save, just wrap everything in function, because if you won't, then there may be a chances like something will get initiated instantly. Just wrap everything in function, and you learn that just the main file, and whatever you want you can just easily do it. So this is what all about modules import export in Node.js.